Alright guys, in today's video, we're going to be previewing week 5 for the Denver Broncos going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Every Bronco fan that I've spoken to feels very good about this game, and I can't really blame them because believe it or not, Denver matches up well with the Eagles, just like they matched up well with the Chiefs. Now, albeit they didn't beat them last season, but what do the Broncos do well? Pressure the quarterback. What do the Eagles struggle with? Getting the ball down the field, moving the chains, picking up first downs. Like the Eagles' offense has not been great this season, but they've got an elite defense, which we'll get to. But if Denver's defense can dominate like it's done all season, I think this defense is the best in football, and I'll die on that take. It's just so good. I mean, the best edge rushing, the best interior presence, of course, with Zach Allen and these boys and DJ Jones. I give them credit. Denver will keep this game close from a defensive standpoint. It's just going to come down to what the Broncos can do offensively. And I get it was the Bengals, but they ran the ball well. Bo Nix looked comfortable. And if Nix can just have an okay game, I think the Broncos have a very good chance to win this. If he can be special, then obviously they're going to win this game. So let's talk about it. So the first matchup that I want to talk about is the secondary. So you've got, of course, Patrick Surtain going up against Devontae Smith. They played together in college, which is kind of funny. That's going to be something to keep an eye on because a lot of people like to say that the Broncos secondary hasn't played well this season. I know PFF currently has them 21st in coverage grade, but that's why it's, well, first of all, that's subjective. That's just an opinion. Like you could say the Broncos have had a very good secondary. You can say they've had a bad secondary. Depends on what you look at, but the bottom line is statistically, maybe the Broncos secondary hasn't been as good as it was last season. But if you actually watch the games, you know that these catches that they're giving up are contested. Like the Colts game in which the offense for Indy had over 500 yards of total offense. Jonathan Taylor is Jonathan Taylor, but Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs and Tyler Warren, like these guys were catching the ball with defenders draped all over them. That's just good offense beating good defense. That's not the Broncos secondary playing poorly. It's just the Colts offense being special. The Eagles haven't exactly done that this season. Like Devontae Smith and AJ Brown have been pretty quiet. Like Dallas Goedert's been pretty quiet. This team struggled. So I think Denver will get back on track here. And I personally think they're going to shut down Jalen Hurts in the passing offense, which sort of leaves Saquon. And even Saquon, as for his standards, is having a down season. So I really like Denver defensively in this game. And that's just the secondary. I think the secondary balls out. But what about Denver when they rush 3 or 4 defenders? Because they're top 4 in football, and actually they're top 3 in that metric. They have 70 pressures. I'm looking at the stat right now when they rush 3 or 4 defenders. And they also have the 4th best pass rush win rate. So that goes to show that this team is not going to need to blitz Jalen Hurts, which is probably the best idea because Hurts was 8 of 9 against the Bucs last week in that win against the blitz. And it's, you can't just be like, oh, well, yeah, let's play a bunch of zone. Jalen Hurts can't be zone. The reason why he struggled in that second half is because, again, imagine a team blitzing you the entire half, then they don't. Of course, it's going to be a little bit confusing. So that's sort of my thing is let's just drop back, drop 7 into coverage, rush 4. Occasionally, you do want to mix in a corner blitz, a safety blitz, a linebacker blitz. You don't just rush 4 guys up front the entire game. You have to get a little bit creative because you don't want to make it easy on Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts has a great game in this one. I mean, if the Eagles do win, Jalen Hurts will do as he always does, and he'll do enough. But this is going to be a test for him because he's going to have to put up points. Like, there's no doubt about it. Jalen Hurts is going to have to put up enough points to be able to win this game, probably 20. Even though Philly's defense is so good, which we're about to get into, I think the Broncos can probably put up 24 points. I really do. I feel confident in my team. I'm biased, obviously. If an Eagles fan's listening, this is Daily Broncos. So if you go and talk to an NFL analyst, I mean, they might feel differently. But judging on the improvement that I've seen week after week, the Colts week was sort of the start, and then the Bengals game was awesome. And I think they're going to build off of that and play well in this game. So in terms of the other side of the ball, this is the thing for Denver, is the Eagles, they've got one of the best corners in football. He's playing as well as anyone right now, of course, in Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, he will press you, he'll get up on you. And it's not even his ability to stay with receivers, it's also his ability to finish, to get his hand out there and to knock out the ball. He's so impressive, man. I mean, I remember him coming out of the draft. He was a very special talent, and he's just been all pro level this season. I'd imagine he's going to match up against Cortland Sutton, the best receiver for the Broncos. That's going to be as fun of a matchup as any this week. But it's also guys like Troy Franklin. It's also guys like Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant. Are they going to be able to step up and beat man-to-man coverage? Teams will often try to fake guys over the middle of the field and sort of get to the outside. They try to confuse the Eagles, but they just haven't bought it because last season the Eagles defense was so elite because of their front. This season it's so elite because of their secondary. That's not to say their front's been bad. Their front is awesome. I mean, they've got Jalen Carter, who's as good as it gets at the position at defensive tackle, and they've also got Jordan Davis, which kind of transitions me into my next point, and that's going to be the center position for the Broncos. It honestly has kind of struggled this season, if I'm being real. And what better opportunity to turn that around than against the Eagles, who have the best defensive tackle probably in the game, and Jalen Carter. I mean, I don't know how Chris Jones has played this season, but it's one of those two guys that's the best in the business. Matty BK is pretty good as well. There's a lot of them, but I want to specifically see how the Broncos block up front in the interior, because if they aren't able to do that, it's going to be a very long day for this offense, especially building off of last week where the Broncos were really able to run the ball effectively. And you guys can see how much better Bo Nix looks with a run game, right? Crazy. I mean, there's not very many quarterbacks in football that can be elite with no run game. Joe Burrow, I mean, even Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry and he can use his legs. So there's probably no one. I mean, I guess Patrick Mahomes, I'll give him credit as much as I hate to do that because the Chiefs haven't really run the ball well. I mean, well, they did run the ball well a couple of years ago, like that year where they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They ran the ball well in that Super Bowl. But overall, like the Chiefs haven't really had a run game since Kareem Hunt when he was in his prime. So Pacheco's pretty good, but still, I mean, so it's just tough. I mean, that's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Like Bo Nix is good, but he hasn't established himself as those types of guys yet as well. Like Josh Allen has James Cook. J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey is a huge, huge matchup to watch out for, because if these guys can replicate what they did last week, I think the Broncos can legitimately win this game. And it's crazy because the Eagles have won 10 straight. They've won 20 of their last 21 games, but I feel very confident about Denver. The last time I felt confident, though, when the Broncos played a good team was the Ravens last season, and I think that was like it was like 40-10 or something, like maybe even worse than that. So, I mean, maybe I'll be completely wrong here, but just judging on what I've seen from week to week, I think the Broncos are really starting to get going. And you can point to the fact that they're 2-2, but the Broncos actually haven't trailed with anything besides triple zeros on the clock, because against the Chargers, it was a game-winning field goal, and against the Colts, there was a leverage penalty that blew the game. So, like, think about that for a second. The Broncos absolutely should be 4-0. They just beaten themselves, but I think they put together their best game in the Sean Payton era Sunday afternoon, and really Sunday morning if you're on Mountain Time, and they win this game. And in terms of other matchups that I want to talk about, the tush push is kind of the last thing that we want to address. The way to stop the tush push is just to avoid it altogether. So don't put yourself into short yardage situations. This is a quote from DJ Jones yesterday. Quote, "First and foremost, don't get in a short yardage situation. That's with any team. If it arises, man, just grab your nuts and try your best to stop it." And quote, one of the best quotes I've heard in a long time from a football player. That's absolutely just hilarious, but it's the truth. If the Eagles are in the tush push all game, it's going to be impossible, literally impossible for the Broncos to win, because that means that they're moving the ball down the field and they're running it effectively on first down, right? Second down. The Eagles in third and longs they just have no chance. Absolutely no chance. Because they've got the talent. Like the Eagles should be good in third and longs, but they just aren't. So if Denver can just stop the run, which includes Jalen Hurts, then they're going to be just fine. But it's also, you can't just drop 7 back in the zone and get lost, because then Jalen Hurts can pick up yardage with his legs. So I'm sure they're going to have some sort of spy on Hurts. Vance Joseph, of course, he's going to be tested in this game, because Sean Payton originally wanted to bring in Vic Fangio for his defensive coordinator, but what head coach would want to get let go of and then be demoted to DC? I mean, I don't really blame him for that. But it's going to be Sean Payton versus Vic Fangio. That's really what this game comes down to. I don't think that the Eagles' offense is going to be anything special in this game. I honestly think the Broncos' offense is going to be better than the Eagles' offense. I do, and that's why I'm saying Sean Payton versus Vic Fangio is the most important thing, because if the Eagles are able to get 24 points, they probably win this game. But hey, if the Broncos get 24 points, they probably win this game. So I think whichever team gets to that 24 mark, it'll probably be like 24-20, something along those lines, maybe 24-21. I think it's going to be super close. A lot of Eagles fans think this is going to be a blowout. I mean, if the Eagles are coming into this week thinking that, they're in for a rude awakening, because Denver is literally built to beat the top teams like the Eagles and the Chiefs. They need to make those plays. Like, it's going to come down to Bo Nix, because you look at like the Chargers, he missed some throws, and then you look at the Colts, he threw that pick. Like Bo Nix has to step up and make a game-winning play in this one. I think he does, man. I'm the biggest Bo Nix supporter in the world. I love them coming out of Oregon. That's why this channel was actually created, was because I praised the Broncos for drafting Bo Nix, and then people just kind of resonated with it. Obviously, he's the quarterback of the team now after moving on from Russ. But I think I've honestly said enough, guys. Thank you so much for the support. The last video kind of took off, man. It's about damn time.